Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lukenessmonster, and this is episode 25 of Summer in Space. This may all be happening right now. This is also the first episode of 2025, so 25 in 2025. Pretty
How
crazy.
did you make that work?
Planned it from the beginning. As always, I'm joined with my podcast co-host.
Hello, I'm SideQuester.
And today we have a pretty exciting video because we're actually going to be following up on one of our first ever videos, as well as creating a new list for 2025. And that is actually, we're going to be touching base on our 2024 predictions, because this time last year we made a video predicting all of the figures we thought we were going to get released in 2024. We're going to see if we got any of those right or wrong. We also put a little wager on the table. Whoever wins gets a free figure. And so we're going to see who won, but we're also going to go ahead and make our list going into 2025.
So the rules that we set for last year were the figures couldn't have been previously announced, and they had to be released in 2024. So that's why we sort of waited until the beginning of this year, just to make sure. There were a few stragglers. Luke and Leia and that whole wave were pretty close, but it had to be a figure that was released in 2024. And it also was supposed to be specific characters for specific scenes in specific films, but that sort of went off the rails because Luke likes to cheat. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, what if, how about, I misspelled Luke Skywalker as now I can't May, Holocom May. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I actually just spelt it horribly wrong. I never learned how to spell in elementary school. So American education system.
So first of all, let's recap. So if you want to go ahead and read off the list of figures that you pitched as coming out in 2024.
So the 10 figures I had predicted are the Commando Droid, Anakin, not specific. I mean, I just said like Anakin, which maybe I cheated, but I don't know what you're talking about.
A Skywalker, any Skywalker, including Rey.
Anakin Skywalker, thank you very much. Just, I don't care if it's Revenge of the Sith, Force Ghost, Clone Wars. I don't care. It's Anakin.
You could have said Anakin Solo, who could have been a Legends figure.
It's true. Grand Admiral Thrawn was next, followed by Captain Enoch and the Night Trooper. Then was Phase 1 Rex, or Phase 2 Rex, because I'm a cheater. Carson Teva, the Imperial Armored Commando, Moff Gideon in his Dark Trooper armor, and then last was Queen Amidala in her New Hope gown. And out of those 10, not a New Hope gown, oh my gosh.
I was just gonna say, it's okay. It's okay.
Queen Amidala in her like queen gown, like the red dress. And out of those,
but still from A New Hope?
No, not from A New Hope. I made an oopsie.
It's okay. I'm just giving you a bad time. So you meant the Queen Amidala from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
The red gown.
Yep. And out of those 10, there was quite a few announced, but only 4 of them released. And the 4 that were released, I got to open up my thing again. The 4 that were released were the Imperial Armored Commando, the Night Trooper, Captain Enoch, and Thrawn. Now, Phase 1 Rex was pipelined, Dark Trooper Gideon was pipelined, the Commando Droid was pipelined, and Clone Wars Anakin was pipelined. But we don't count those because they didn't officially release in 2024.
And thank you for honoring that.
Yeah, I'm a team player. What can I say?
That's only because the cameras are on. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so my list for 2024 are as follows. I had Episode 3, Obi-Wan and Anakin. Raxus Prime Starkiller, because I thought that would be an easy figure to make based on the Starkiller figure that they already had. Episode 3, Commander Cody. Episode 1, Darth Maul. Phase 1 Rex, because I picked a specific character like I was supposed to. Ahsoka the White, Imperial Armored Commando, Super Battle Droid specific to the Jedi Survivor video game, and Jango Fett. And out of all of those, the ones that were released were the Super Battle Droid, came out in the 3-pack from Amazon, the Imperial Armored Commando, the Ahsoka from Peridia, and Episode 1 Darth Maul. I also got 4 out of the 10 correct.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
I mean, we could go to like officially revealed figures rather than like released, but I think we should just call this one a tie and go double or nothing for 2025.
Well,
2 figures.
I had your Vice Admiral Holdo all ready to go to ship to you because I know that's what you would have wanted. But fair enough. How about we call this year a draw? So are you suggesting that this next year or this next year, whoever wins gets 2 figures from the other person?
Double or nothing? Or do you just want to go with 1?
Let's go double. I like that. Let's do
Sounds
it.
good.
We'll raise the stakes. And then if we get the same number again, next year it'll be 3.
Yeah.
We'll just keep going.
Yeah.
I like that. All right.
Okay.
Internet handshake. All right. The rules are it has to be a figure that has not been announced, has not been leaked, that is through Yak Face or through any of the prototype parts that are showing up on the internet. It has to be specific to a movie or scene, and we're picking 10. And then we're also, at the very end, we're going to pick a wild card. And the wild card, what did we agree on?
That like I think we agreed on that if the wild card that you pick gets made, it's worth 2 points. But it has to be like wild enough to be considered a wild card.
All right. So we'll see how wild your wild card is. My wild card is pretty wild.
I think mine's pretty wild too.
I think we're going to say wild a bunch more times this episode.
Wild.
That was pretty wild. Okay. So what's your number 10?
My number 10 spot, I actually gave it to, I mean, technically this is a vehicle, but I give it to an ATRT. An ATRT with the ATRT driver from Revenge of the Sith.
Now we have to start this episode all over again.
Okay, but I'll give you the benefit of the benefit of the doubt. If we get the ATRT driver without the ATRT, it won't count. So it has to be released with the vehicle for it to count as a point on my list.
I appreciate you making that concession, but if it's the ATRT or just the ATRT pilot, we'll count it. Okay.
To be specific, I'm specifically thinking of the like Kashyyyk version from Revenge of the Sith. It is the 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and so if we get a Clone Wars like 501st version, I'll be so sad because it won't count. But I'm specifically thinking of the Revenge of the Sith version for my number 10 spot.
Nice. Okay, so my number 10 spot, I'm going to go with a hologram Princess Leia from A New Hope. And my reasoning for this is they're just coming out with the brand new one, which has the old legs, but it's a mostly new sculpt. And they went to the trouble to make it overlays instead of being soft goods like before. I think maybe they started coming out with holocom figures and they realized how difficult it is to do the soft goods for existing figures. So by doing this Leia, they use the mold to get the official release out. I think in 2025, we will see a hologram version.
I think it's a great pick, and that's 100% going to get made. And I wish I would have put that on my list. But
I'm smart. I went to college.
I will say that Leia does have brand new legs. They're not the pinned legs from the old Leia.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Brand new legs.
Really?
Yep, pinless legs.
Wait, but are they the double jointed or are they ball jointed?
They're single jointed. It's just they didn't paint them. They're just all white, but they're single jointed.
So they're different than the prototype images.
The prototype are pinless. There's no pins in the prototype. In the glam shots, there's no pins. I'll Google it right now, and I'll throw it up on screen so you can see I'm right. Oh, okay, wait a minute. We're both wrong. Because they are double jointed legs,
Yeah.
but they're pinless legs. So we were both wrong.
Show me that they're pinless, please. Hang
Nope.
on, hang on, hang on, hang
No
on, hang on.
pins. No pins. So either they Photoshop them out of the photo, which is very possible.
You're right. You are right. So wait. So it's not new legs because it's just it's kind of technically new legs. But it's not the single jointed
It's not single
ball
jointed.
jointed legs.
So my thought, okay, hear me out. I think that you're right, and they just photoshopped the pins out for the glam shot, like they've done before in the past.
I won't do it right now, but
Is
I need
there a
to.
review out on it?
I think only Landspeeder Luke has a review out.
I'll have to go watch his review.
So what do you have for your number 9?
My number 9 is, I actually don't know his name, but it's the Commando Droid from Star Wars Outlaws. Because I haven't played the game yet, so I don't know his name. But we just got the Commando sculpt last year, or I guess announced last year, so he'll be releasing here in 2025. And so I do think we're going to get a repaint of the Outlaws character there in 2025. I think that one's a pretty easy repaint for Hasbro, so I don't see any reason why we wouldn't get it.
Nice. That's a solid pick. I would imagine that they had it planned, but I'm thinking that Hasbro is taking a right turn and they are going full bore into A-list, top of the line, most popular characters. So that is a great choice. I think if they were releasing figures 6 months ago, it might be on the table, but I'm gonna disagree with you on that one.
I think we'll see. I think it'll be probably a part of like an Amazon exclusive 2-pack, maybe. Like it's not going to be a GameStop exclusive, unfortunately, but I think it's a possibility.
Okay, maybe in a 2-pack. I could see that.
Okay, what is your number 9 spot?
My number 9 is, and I'm hoping that you didn't guess this one too, farther up your list, or further up your list, the 212th Airborne Clone Trooper.
I didn't. That's not on my list.
My reasoning is they have the clone body. They're pushing clones left and right. They already have the head sculpt from the Purge Trooper. And I wasn't sure when I looked it up, but is the harness rig the same as Bakara's, or is it just slightly different?
I think it's slightly different, but I'd have to look. I could be wrong.
Even if it is totally different, it's easy to do the overlay piece. So, 212th Airborne.
Not a bad guess, because I know that we have a Revenge of the Sith grunt who is rumored right now, and both me and SideQuester agreed that it's on the table for this list just because we don't have any idea what grunt it is, and so there's about like 4 or 5 options of what it could be. But I do have a grunt on my list, but it's not up a ways. It's a ways up on the list, so you'll have to wait and see what it is, but it is not a 212th Airborne.
All right. So what do you have for your number 8?
My number 8 is actually Gunter from Skeleton Crew, and it's the pirate Gunter. You probably don't know his name unless you read IMDb. But it's I can't remember the dude's name. Is it?
The actor's name is Jaleel White. He played Steve Urkel.
Yeah, I'll say it's the Urkel pirate. And so I 100% see them doing him a figure. One, because I think they're going to go hard with the pirates because it's one of the few things that they can do from Skeleton Crew, just because the kids aren't really changing outfits like we were kind of expecting them to. And so I think they're going to have to go pretty deep into more pirates if they want to get their money's worth of figures out of Skeleton Crew. And I think he's by far got one of the coolest designs when it comes to pirate outfits. And of course, the actor is pretty like recognizable, and so I'm sure that they're going to try to get him a figure made. So
I want them to make any skeleton crew figure as long as it comes with some zombie droid parts. Follow, follow, follow. I just want the little droid with the little feet on them.
The crab ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, okay, so for my number 8, I'm going for the fences early. My number 8 is an episode 3 Yoda. And my reasoning for this is they have the one that came out in the 2-pack with Gree. There's already the leaked images of a Darth Sidious, and I know that that might be a little bit more narrowly focused to a specific version, but I have a feeling we're going to see episode 3 Yoda on that retro style card back. I don't know what the accessories are going to be, but it would just be an easy taking the tooling for the 2-pack version, maybe changing the robe a little bit, lightening it up, maybe give him some different head options or different hands or something. They could give him the weird Kashyyyk chair thing that he had in the original toy with
Yeah.
like a rocket firing. I don't think they'd go that far, but I think they're going to do an episode 3 Yoda. What do you think?
I mean, technically, the one that we got is based off of Revenge of the Sith, but I'm gonna let it slide because you indicated it as like a single release. So, I mean, I think that's possible. I think the biggest problem is just selling it as a single release. Like, obviously, they've sold less. Like, they sold the Grogu as a single release, and that's a pretty hard sell. And so, like, I could see them doing it, but I think that they'd pack it with the chair maybe or something else to go with it. But I could definitely see it as I could see it getting a release. So I don't think that's a bad choice by any means.
I appreciate you making the concession. As soon as I pitched it, I was like, is this a gray area? But thank you. So here's my rebuttal to your rebuttal is when they do the retro style packaging, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be at a consistent price point. They did that with
Yeah.
the Jar Jar for episode 1, I think was a few dollars more than the regular
Mm,
standard figures.
yeah.
So what if they did a retro style Yoda? It's just got the head sculpts that came with the 2-pack version,
Hmm.
but maybe it's at a 19.99 price point instead of 24.99.
I just don't see them doing that. I could see them doing it for $24.99 and just saying, don't buy it if you don't think it's like if you don't want it, because I know that people really want the figure and they want a single release of it, and so I'm sure they're going to try to squeeze every single dollar out of you that you can. So
It's a new year and I'm trying to be positive.
I appreciate that.
How's your sweet tea?
It's very good, very sweet.
What do you have? What do you have for your number 7, dude?
My number 7 is actually a seasons 3 and 4 version of Kanan. Yakface did come out and say that there are 2 rumored Rebels figures, and he said one of them is one that's already been released in the Vintage Collection, but not the Black Series. And so I think that it's got to be a season 3 and 4 version of Kanan. So yeah, I think that one is a pretty safe choice for me for this list, and it's one that I would absolutely love to get. So yeah, excited for that one.
So do you think that they'll take the existing 6-inch one and modify it, or do you think they'll just upscale the TVC one that they came out with?
Yeah, I think it'll be like a new mold, so it'll probably be the TVC one upscaled. So, or
Nice.
it'll be very similar to it. It's not going to be retooled from the original one, I don't think, because that one's still got pin joints and it's not necessarily a great figure. So,
Second question: do you think that it will be more closely related to the initial release as far as the head sculpt, or do you think that they'll take the Freddie Prinze Jr. image from the little picture that they had in Ahsoka and translate it so it's a Freddie Prinze?
I think it'll be a Freddie Prinze face. Yeah, either that or it'll be closer to the Vintage Collection look, because I
Hmm.
don't think that one's a Freddie Prinze likeness.
I'd have
But
to double check.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, they could go either way. I'd be happy. Just as long I don't like the face that we have right now in the Black Series. So as long as it's better than that, I'll be happy. So yeah, what is your number 7?
My number 7, I'm going with an Ahsoka Tano. a flashback live action version from the Ahsoka series to go along with the Clone Wars Anakin we already know we're getting.
So the younger, not the Siege of Mandalore, but the earlier seasons Clone Wars likeness.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't remember the actress's name, but
I can't
yeah, just
either.
kind of that. What would it be like season 3, season 4 look where she had
Mm,
kind of the maroon
yeah.
thing? We saw her once or twice in flashbacks, and
Mm.
I think that would be perfect to go with the Anakin. If the Anakin ends up being part of a 2-pack instead of a single release, then that's an easy addition.
I don't think that's a bad guess or a bad prediction, but I think that if they were going to do that actress's likeness for an Ahsoka, I think it would be the Siege of Mandalore version, just because we just got a like that version, that seasons 3 and 5, like Ahsoka figure, and I think that the Siege of Mandalore is a figure that's in much more need of an upgrade, and so I think they would lean towards that version of the character instead of the earlier seasons one.
You're that's a very good point, very spot on. I think that my reasoning for having it be the younger version is because that is the version that interacts with the Anakin.
Yeah, and I mean we're getting the Phase One Rex too, which would be the same scene. So I mean that's very good justification. So
All
yeah,
right, what's
we'll
your
see.
number 6?
My number 6 is actually Quinlan Voss. And I this one's interesting, but I know there is a rumored Clone Wars figure right now who is a lightsaber wielder, and so that there's a lot of options for that when it comes to Clone Wars. But I specifically picked Quinlan Voss because he has almost like like the Obi-Wan Kenobi clone armor, like the Jedi armor where he has like the chest piece and then the shoulder pads. Same thing that Anakin wears. Um, Quinlan Voss actually wears like a black version of that, and so they already have essentially the mold. I think they're going to probably just reuse a lot of the Clone Wars Obi-Wan mold, and maybe some other new pieces in there too. But they've already got the mold for it, just some new head and some new other pieces on top of it, and so pretty easy Quinlan Voss figure, I would think.
That's a good pick, man. That's pretty solid. I was not even thinking down that avenue, but yeah, no, that's probably right.
We'll see. What is your what what is your number 6?
My number 6 is actually a Death Trooper. I think because we have the rumor of the zombie version. This is not what I'm going to say.
Okay. Okay.
We've been seeing the Death Trooper a lot with Andor, and we have season 2 of Andor coming out. I think that they're going to capitalize on the fact that they're using a new mold of sorts for the zombie version. I think we're going to get a new regular version of the Death Trooper, new legs. Definitely need new legs, and I think that it'll incorporate kind of the overlay system, kind of like the 2020 Stormtrooper and the newer clone troopers. And yeah, I think that we'll see it because of Andor. And there was something else coming out that I thought we saw Death Troopers in. Anyway, yeah, that's my reasoning. What do you think?
I think that's good. I mean, I think the problem for me is I would want a new mold for it, and I think that if they were to release it, it'd just be a re-release, which is okay. Yeah, I think that's a good pick, and I think that they could easily do an Andor season 2 figure for them.
But I'm specifically saying that there will be new parts to it because we have seen the zombie trooper, and isn't there an overlay for the zombie trooper that has like chunks?
Yeah, almost. I think the only thing that's reused on the zombie Death Trooper are the arms. The arms are reused, but I think the rest of it is pretty much new.
Right. So what I'm saying is because they're doing that, that they're going to incorporate that and make a new base Death Trooper that doesn't have the hard chest anymore. It has the overlay. It'll
Hmm.
have the single pin legs.
So if it's a re-release of the old one, you don't get the point.
That is correct. I will
Okay.
not take a point if it's just like the archive version.
Okay. Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, I think if they were going to do it, they just re-release it, but we'll see, I guess.
Well, I don't.
I respect your opinion, and I hope you're right. I hope and I pray that you're right, because that is what Hasbro should be doing. But I don't know if I'm that optimistic. So
How did I become the optimist here?
I don't know.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Agent Callus, specifically the like Imperial outfit for him, because I know he wears a few different ones. But yeah, we have a second Rebels figure that's rumored, and I mean, I think it's between a few options, but I think Agent Callus is just the most obvious one there. I think the only other thing that it could be would be a like seventh sister, and I just think we've gotten so many Inquisitors recently that it won't be an Inquisitor, and so I think that Rebels Agent Callus is going to be a new addition in 2025.
Nice. I like it. I never finished the Rebels series.
Oh my gosh, watch Rebels.
Well, I did just get Disney Plus back because I'm watching Skeleton Crew because Adisher is on it, and so I want to support him. And I need to go back and watch some other things that I've missed out on. Maybe I'll finally get around to watching Rebels. I think I watched the first season. Maybe part of season 2.
The end of season 2 is really good, and then seasons 3 and 4 are pretty solid. I think I think season 100%. The end of season 4 will make you cry. The season 1 is the weakest season, but it's still one of my favorites. So I think all 4 seasons hold up pretty well.
My number 5 is so here's my reason. Well, I'll give you the figure and then I'll give you my reason. I'm going Han Carbonite.
Okay. I know. I want to know your reasoning.
No, I want to know why you gave me that reaction.
Well, because we just got a re-release of it like in 2020, which I guess is a while ago.
No. Not just the Carbonite.
Oh, not the block?
The actual figure.
Oh, okay. So the white shirt Han. Jabba's Palace Han?
Jabba's Palace Han.
Okay.
Yes. My reasoning is that there is the leaked image of the Han Solo coming out for A New Hope, and they're incorporating the overlay system. So just like the Death Trooper, I think it would be very easy for them to just swap out that overlay, get a solid head sculpt, repaint the pants, Han Carbonite.
Yeah, I mean, I think that sounds good. I hope so. I hope you're right, because it's one that I think we definitely need. But I guess we'll see.
Such a cool figure. Oh, that'd be such a cool figure.
I think it's one that we need. So
the Han Carbonite was one of the most difficult figures to find back in, I think it came out in 85. It's part of the Power of the Force line, came with the coin.
Yeah.
It was so tough to find, and the packaging was like really big. We ended up coming across it at one point, and my parents were like, we have to get this because we'll probably never see it again. And we were the only kids, my brother and I were the only kids in our neighborhood that had that Han Carbonite.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So it's like it's here, man. It's right here. Anyway, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is that Revenge of the Sith grunt, but instead of doing a 2/12, I actually did a Galactic Marine. I really hope it's a new mold for the most part, but I have a feeling that they're going to reuse a lot of the Snowtrooper parts, which would make sense, but I would hope it's a new mold. But I think that we just got Ki-Adi-Mundi this year, and we're getting Commander Bakara in 2025 here very soon in a few months. And so I think that Galactic Marine to go with both of those is a pretty safe choice. I think that it could be any of those Revenge of the Sith grunts, but I think that the Galactic Marine would make the most sense.
That's a solid pick, man. That's pretty good. I just had my hopes and dreams came up with an idea. What if they used kind of like a pleather material and they used soft goods for the like kind of shroud thing instead of having it be plastic? Then you could get a ton of articulation, and then they could just change the design a little bit, come out with a new Snowtrooper.
I mean, that'd be cool. I don't think they would ever do that, but I would hope so, because that's a really cool idea.
Trying to be positive. It's 2025.
If I'm really going to be positive, BlackSeries HasLab 2025, but we'll see. My hopes and dreams.
We haven't gotten to the Wildcard yet.
Oh.
Okay,
what is
so
your number 4?
my number 4, I'm going Imperial Cody,
Okay.
because we have the episode 3 Cody coming out. I think we're going to get the Cody on a retro card, and I think we're also going to get him in the main line. I believe that they're going to just use that mold, paint everything gray that used to be yellow, and make the Imperial Cody from Bad Batch. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea. That's a no-brainer. So, yeah,
Maybe
I think
making an exclusive somewhere, GameStop,
I,
Target.
I think it'd probably be a Walmart exclusive if I'm thinking right, because that's where all the other Bad Batch figures were exclusive to, were to Walmart, and so maybe we'll see another Walmart exclusive Cody. But the other Cody's already Walmart, so I don't know.
That
We'll
was why
see.
I was saying maybe it wouldn't be, but
Yeah,
you do bring up a valid point. That, I mean, if they're releasing the episode 3 Cody in June, maybe the Imperial Cody comes out for the holiday season.
yeah, could be.
All right, top 3. What do you have?
My number 3 is actually Ahsoka Mercenary, or essentially it's just Ahsoka the White, but with the cloak. I think that they're going to do a Walmart exclusive release with the cloak, just like they did for Balin and Shin. I think that one is. It sucks, but I think that's what they're going to do, and I'm going to buy it anyway because I want that white cloak, because it's not Ahsoka the White without the white cloak. Um, and I think that that's a no brainer for Hasbro, because they know they can get it more money out of it for selling it a second time with the cloak. So, but I mean, both Balin and Shin had deep discount though, so you never know. Maybe they scrapped that idea.
That is a solid pick, though, and it would be far enough down the pipeline that I don't know that it would be affected by the discounting at the end of 2024 for the
Yeah,
Balin and Shin. That's a solid pick, and I'm jealous that I didn't think of it. Do you think that she will come with the staff from the end of Rebels?
I hope so, but I doubt it. I think it would just be the 2 lightsabers and the cloak. I don't think they're going to include any extra accessories. I think there's a possibility of us getting like a deluxe release, kind of like we got with the Amazon exclusive Mando, Ahsoka, and Grogu 3-pack. Maybe we get a 2 or 3-pack that has extra accessories like that, kind of just how Mando had the Beskar spear. So it's possible, but I think it would have to be some kind of like exclusive deluxe set, not just a exclusive.
Nice.
So,
All right. My number 3, I'm going Cyril Karn from Andor.
you're gonna have to
And
remind me who that guy is.
Cyril Karn is the I want what you want. He's the one that chases after Dedra Miro.
I think I need to
Really?
rewatch Andor, man.
Oh
I don't.
wow!
I don't.
He's the guy that's chasing Andor, and he ends up getting fired from his job, and he goes to
Oh,
Coruscant, goes back with his mom,
I know. Yeah, I
eating
know who
the
you're talking about.
cereal, and
Mhm.
all the passive aggression between him and his mom. Like now,
No,
Cyril
I know who
Karn.
you're talking about. I just never. He was just random Imperial dude.
But I think in season 2 he's going to have a much bigger part. We've already established that there's going to be a Dedra for season 2 where she's got the armor. So I'm going to say this is specific to season 2 that we will get a Cyril Karn, because I think that she's going to like have brought him on, and they're going to be working together throughout the show.
I think that's a great idea, and it's just one that didn't even think about. So I think that's great, and hopefully he does play a pretty big role in season 2. I think we'll see. But yeah, it's a great pick.
It'd also be hilarious if they came out with a 2-pack of his season 1 look, and he comes with his mom and the table and the chair and the bowl of cereal and the passive aggressiveness.
The
The
passive
passive aggression.
aggressiveness, exclusive to Walmart. Mm-hmm.
All right, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is one you already picked, and that is Imperial Commander Cody. So I'm not going to get too far into the details because you already pretty much covered it, but they already have the mold for it. So
Well,
great,
I
Cody.
hope we're both right.
I hope so too. You sounded like the guy from SpongeBob again. Kevin the cucumber, Kevin the sea cucumber.
I need to watch that show too.
I'll
After I
throw I'll
finish
throw I'll throw up a clip.
Okay, good. Just like you did for Seth Rogen because of my laugh.
That was funny. Yeah.
My number 2 is a Shadow Trooper from the Force Unleashed, specifically the Force Unleashed. I think we're going to see the 2020 Stormtrooper body in like a smoky gray translucent plastic with maybe some blue highlighted parts. We had the Star Killer come out last year. I think Hasbro is going to incorporate old molds as much as possible and release some pretty cool new versions that we haven't seen before. That, what was the 2019? Is that when we got the last 2018? The
Would have been
GameStop
20,
exclusive?
would have been early 2020, I want to say.
Yeah, it was a great figure at the time. That Stormtrooper mold does not hold up. And I think that having a Shadow Trooper in the 2020 body, that would be awesome.
I sure hope you're right, because I love that Shadow Trooper. It's one of my favorite figures of all time. So if they can update it on a 2020 body, I sure hope so. I hope you're right.
And if Hasbro ever did it, it would be so cool if they came out with a variant where like one in every 100, it's just straight clear.
Just straight clear. Like that's
Just
a chase
straight
variant.
clear.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a video we got to pin for later. Is what if Hasbro did chase variants? Or
I'll write it down.
sounds good. I want that to happen, but we'll wait for the episode before we get into that. Are we on number one now?
We are. What is your number one?
I gave my number one to Commander Neo. Yep, I think that it's the 25th anniversary. Nope, it's the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, and so I think it makes sense for them to do a lot of Revenge of the Sith figures, just kind of like they did a decent amount of Phantom Menace figures this year for the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, and so I think they're going to go pretty all out when it comes to Revenge of the Sith because I think they know how popular Revenge of the Sith is, and so I think they're gonna milk us for Revenge of the Sith figures. And so I think Commander Neo being, you know how much they like making their clone troopers and they know how much we like buying their clone troopers. And so I think Commander Neo is a no-brainer and it would be printing money for Hasbro. So yeah, Commander Neo.
You know, I watched this guy's YouTube channel. He came out with a video just a couple days ago and he had Neo at the top of his list.
Man, what was that guy's name? Schmook Bless Bonster?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. That's a solid pick. I think it's neat. Be very easy to do just with the new head sculpt. I gotta be honest though, I don't like the helmet. I don't like the way it looks. It seems like a cool character. I don't like the really like narrow eyes and the kind of some like a weird sloping thing on the kind of the face part.
Yeah, I think that they could do it right. I don't like the wolf mold that we have for it because it's really big and chunky because it has to fit over a head. So I think if they made one without a head sculpt underneath, I think it would come out a lot better and look a little bit better. But we'll see.
I'm cautiously hopeful.
Me too. What is your number one?
My number one, and if they made this figure, I could get it and I could just stop collecting action figures altogether. It would be kind of the ultimate figure.
Okay.
Dark Empire Luke Skywalker.
I think that is a solid choice. I think that's cool. I'd love to get one.
My reasoning for it is that we saw the Hot Toys release coming out. We got the announcement of the Shadows of the Empire kind of subline and including the Luke Coruscant Guard. I think that Hasbro is swinging for the fences in 2025. I don't know if it would be part of a 4-pack, if it would be a deluxe figure or what, but if they could make a Dark Empire Luke, give him kind of the longer shaggy hair and the kind of emo trench coat with the high collar, it'd be a fantastic figure. And I could die a happy man at that point.
But you know what they would do? They'd give you the pinned Vader legs though. And you would implode on yourself.
You'd have the little tiny squatty torso and the really long Darth Vader pinned legs.
Yep.
The Darth Vader uppers with like a some Imperial uh, Death Star gunner or a TIE fighter pilot lower arms. They're
Yep.
just mishmash.
We'll see. I like that idea because I know Hasbro has been kind of going out of the box when it comes to Legends figures and expanded universe figures. So especially with the release of the Hot Toys one and how people kind of freaked out over that one, I could definitely see Hasbro taking notes and saying like, we need to get in on that. So yeah, I think
And
it's a great pick.
also, go ahead, sorry.
I said I think that's a great pick.
Thank you so much. And also, kind of adding to your point, Disney releases certain characters and certain versions at certain times. So the fact that we do see it in Hot Toys, I don't know if we've seen it announced at Funko as a pop, but those things seem to kind of go hand in hand. When we see one version of it, it's because it's been released by Disney to make, and so chances are
Mm-hmm.
another company could pick up and take it. So that's my belief. Okay, so here's the fun part, the new addition for 2025. We are adding a wild card. As you said, it will be worth 2 if it's a long shot. If it ends up being made, and you're right, we get 2 points added to our list, and whoever gets the most correct points gets 2 free figures of their choice from the loser. Sir, what is your a wild card pick for 2025?
I'm really in between two right now. So I'm going to say them both.
Okay.
I think so. Okay, I'll tell you which one I'm picking, and that's got to be a Kyle Katarn for me for my wild card pick.
Nice.
I think that he's just out there enough to be like a wild card, but he's still popular enough, especially with Hasbro expanding on gaming figures and Legends characters to where I think they would make a Kyle Katarn. But yeah, we'll see. I think Kyle Katarn's definitely up high on my list. The second figure, which it's not my official pick, so if they do make this, I'll be upset. But
All
it's
right.
a hologram Kiadi Mundi, but specifically with the Jedi Council chair that's not a hologram.
Wow, those are like wild cards.
Yep.
Good job.
Your wild card is going to be like, I don't know, another Boba Fett or something. No.
It's actually going to be an alternate version of Dark Empire Luke.
Right there again, you got Kevin the Sea Cucumber.
I'll do it as Cartman. My wild card pick, and this is only because I think it's been a figure that we've needed for a long time. It's a figure that we've already had, but it's desperately needing a resculpt and a re-release. And I think the climate is such that we might be able to see it. And that is a Hut Slayer Leia from Return of the Jedi. I think we might finally be ready to have that figure be released. Give her the big staff thing, give her the chain, and even if you need to, make it an exclusive, Hasbro Pulse exclusive, so that it doesn't have to be something that gets released in stores, just in case there's any stigma behind it. But I think that we could see that. So that's my wild card.
I think that's a pretty good wild card pick because it's just controversial enough, but it desperately needs a new figure. And I could see Hasbro finally giving in and being like, well, I guess it's time. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just controversial enough to I could see Disney being like, no, of course you can't make that. So I don't know.
And that is why it's my wild card.
I think it's a good wild card. Yeah.
I guess we'll see. May the best man win.
Yeah. Well, make sure you guys leave your comments down below because we want to see what you guys think is going to be released in 2025. But yeah, I think that is probably going to do it for this episode of Somewhere in Space. This may all be happening right now. If you guys enjoyed, the like button, subscribe, and make sure to check out our last episode because we actually did interview a Star Wars actor and stuntman, which is super exciting. So make sure to go check that one out. But yeah, we're actually going to go ahead and wrap up this video. So any final thoughts, SideQuester?
I'm so excited for this list. It was so funny when I was going through the 2024 list. I mean, it would be nice to win, but if I'm going to lose, I would be honored to lose to you. And then we ended up getting the exact same number. So I hope, at the very least, someone takes it this year.
Yeah, I think that'll be good. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.